We are starting on page 491, and this is the last chapter in the book, multiple chapter booklet that we are starting. First of all, your client Against the Clock publishes books related to the computer graphics industry. In addition to application-specific books, it's also creating a series of companion titles that discuss the concepts underlying the use of digital software, basic design principles, type, color, and so on. You are hired to build an excerpt booklet of the companion titles which ATC will use for marketing purposes. So in this project, what we're going to be doing is combining multiple InDesign files into a single book, synchronizing the assets in multiple files to ensure consistency from one piece to the next, building a unified table of contents for the entire book, building an index that covers all chapters in the book, and using variable data to build a personal letter. Now, building variable data to build a personal letter is very similar to using a comma delimited file in Microsoft Word. So if you have done that once, you will find that this is going to be very, very comparable to doing that. Secondly, let's go to the next page on 492, and let's talk about our project meeting as though we were there in the meeting. Okay, we are launching a new series of books that will complement our application-specific books. We want to use existing InDesign files to create a sample excerpt book which we can use in digital and print advertising. We sent you the files for the first chapters from 2 of the books. Unfortunately, we can't find the final file that was tagged for color companion index. We want the booklet to include representative index, so we'd like you to tag a few entries in the color companion chapter and build a mini index for the sample. The booklet should also have its own title page and table of contents. These booklets will be printed and mailed to clients that we selected from our database. We're asking these clients to review the sample chapters and provide quotes that we will use in marketing materials. We provided you with a comma delimited data file that was exported from our database. We also sent you the text for thank you letter that we want you to include in the booklet. Now, comma delimited is a very common format to export data from Excel, and it has been used for a very long time that way. So this is the same sort of thing that we use when doing a mail merge in Microsoft Office. So this should not be a difficult step for you if you've already done it once in those. Now let's talk about long documents such as books. Long documents such as book, especially nonfiction, require special elements, including a table of content and an index. Publishers spent countless hours manually composing these elements. They literally flip through the pages and handwrite every entry in a spreadsheet. Fortunately, InDesign has a built-in tool that makes this process far easier. If you use styles consistently, you can build a table of contents based on those styles. An index is a bit more complicated. Although the tools for tagging and compiling ease the process, identifying index contents remains largely a manual process. Although they give you shortcut keys, so it is a lot easier than doing it 100% by hand. The advantage of these tools is that you'll need to complete the process only once. Making changes later on or later in the process, which happens almost every time and is very typical for working for someone else, used to mean manually recompiling the table of contents and index. Using InDesign's built-in tools, you can easily recompile both elements as often as necessary. And you can format them automatically using other styles. Now, one of the key things, and if you start building books, one of the key things is to make sure that you use style formats all throughout the book. and a consistent style format. For instance, using H1 for your headers, okay, or H2s or H3s, depending on the header size. So things like that become crucial in the process of building the book to begin with, before you actually start compiling it and putting it together. So please, please, as you're designing whatever it is you're building into a book, make sure you use consistent styles throughout the document, which will make it far easier by the time you reach this process that we will be doing throughout this chapter. Okay, to complete this project, you will create an InDesign book file. You will manage different files as chapters of a single book. You will control section and page numbers across multiple chapter files. You will synchronize assets and all the files of the book. You will build a table of content based on styles. You will tag index entries in each file of the book. You'll compile the index for all book chapters at once, and you will create a variable data letter addressed to previous ATC clients. Take a quick look over here on the left-hand side. You'll see kind of how they've drawn how our book is supposed to look and what's going to be expected from it. And we will get started here very shortly.